So at the moment, I've been thinking a lot about economies of scale. Now, economies of scale is usually used to refer to larger companies and their ability to make cheap products, because it's a lot cheaper per product to make 1,000 of something than 10 of something. It's a lot cheaper to make 1,000,000 than it is to make 100, and so on. Generally, when you centralize the creation of something, you can often create economies. You can also often create savings, per se. With a small company, you say you might need one person on marketing to deliver 100 products. Now, if you then merge 2 or 3 or 4 companies, end up with 400 people, you may only need 2 people full-time on marketing. So that means that you don't have to charge quite as much. But I think it applies to small businesses as well, and even down to self-employed one-man shows like myself. So the moment I've been navigating, moving from the events of the summer. So during the summer months, I tend to weight things heavily towards one-off events, special activities, because this is the time of year when people tend to want to do things, and when they have the time and when we have the weather. Come September, it's going to be flipping the other way, and it'll be regular forest school sessions, 2 to 3 sessions a week, which is fantastic. That's pretty much going to be full time for me. And I think there's economies and savings to be made there. So as opposed to running, say, a bushcraft session, bushcraft weekend, and then one forest school session, and then a foraging walk, everything else, focusing on just one thing, or specializing, means you can deliver much more easily for a lower cost, and therefore, I know it's a dirty word, but profit. You need to, as a business, as a person, you need to stay in profit. You need to be earning enough money to live and support your family, and I believe also you should be earning enough to be able to give back. And that's the important philosophy. So what I'm talking about is there are certain costs associated with delivering a certain type of activity. Take forest school, for example. You need insurance. Now, the insurance provider usually doesn't care whether you are running 1 session or 5 a week. Your cover is pretty similar. You do have to give them a vague indication, but in general, it's one-off cost. So the more sessions you run, the less each session needs to contribute towards that big annual bill. So if I run, let's say 50 sessions a year, and my insurance is, let's just say for example 200, then that would be £4 a session. Now if I doubled that and ran 100 sessions, so roughly 2 a week, then I'd quickly end up paying only £2 per session. And then you can also start economizing on other things, like time. If I'm running 3 forest school sessions a week, I can pretty much plan for 1 forest school session and then just adapt it to all of the other days, provided the ages and abilities are similar. But in general, you can tailor a particular activity up and down. So if you're working with younger ones, you might change the activity slightly. So we're going to be doing wand making on one of my sessions next week, and it's pretty simple. Get some elder, cut it down to size, take the bark off, then add decorations. For younger children, you might just have some colored wool or yarn, and some pens, and they can decorate it from there. Older children, you can start working in adding their own unique aspects to the wand, so adding a wand core, so putting a feather in the middle or something else, which involves drilling out the center. That's extended. And then for older ones, you can even add some carving to it. So you're planning one activity, and then it just rolls out across all sessions. And by the end of the week, your delivery is probably going to be pretty decent. So there's economies to be had, and makes a lot of sense in that way to specialize, because you can bulk up on one activity, you can plan everything and roll it out from one session to the next. There's also other ways in which it works. Your marketing is pretty much going to be just for those sessions. So you're targeting a certain group, you have a certain message, using certain photos. It's pretty simple. It gets way more complicated when you throw in other sessions. Like at the moment for Bracken Outdoors, like I've said, I'm pretty much heavily diversified. So I have a number of different activities that I run. And so I run things from right at the far end for Bushcraft and forest school leaders, all the way through to little ones forest school sessions. So that it means that I have to keep an awful lot of equipment. So just knives and tools alone. So I spent most of yesterday working my way through cleaning, sharpening, and maintaining all of my tools. So I have wood carving knives, which I use for Bushcraft group. Then I have regular knives, which I use for my more advanced forest school sessions. And then I have knives which are specifically designed for children, with, say, bigger guards, rounded tips, and so on. So that means that instead of having to sharpen 5 knives, I could end up sharpening 20. And that obviously takes a lot more time. So that's where it really helps to specialize for things. And it's a good practice in some ways. But like I said in my previous video on specialization versus diversification, diversified incomes are more stable. The specialized incomes allow you to create more depth with your audience, and you can create more things for the same market. So that's my thoughts on diversification and specialization, and how economies of scale can work in your favor. It's something that is difficult to work uphill against. So be careful with how much you take on when you're just starting out. Don't go too wild with the number of sessions, activities, and really take a moment to establish one session, get everything working efficiently, and then move on to the next. So I think it's just about to start raining, and that's going to be me signing off for another week. I hope you're enjoying these little breakouts. I'm experimenting around with trying to get better sound quality for YouTube. I'm also trying to play around with getting better quality video. So let me know, how do you like the audio quality? Would you rather have vertical videos for watching on your smartphone, or horizontal landscape videos for watching on your laptop or a TV? Let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Take care and make the most of every day.